Good.
Welcome out, everybody. For our training tonight, for those of you that are just joining us, we have both Peter and Lynn from Australia, doTERRA Diamonds. We're going to have a bit of a discussion with them. It's going to be fantastic, sharing some ideas of how we do things. So welcome.
So I just want to introduce Peter and Lynn. We knew each other in Australia, but this convention we happened to be sitting next to each other, so we got to chat for hours, and then we decided, hey, why don't you share some of this experience with my teammates? These guys are amazing. And, you know, I just feel like there's no excuses. When you hear these guys' stories, I'm thinking, everyone out there's no excuses. These guys can do it. Anyone can do, right? And you guys won number 5 in Diamond Club last year. And your daughter and her husband won Diamond Club. Now, first one, right? Number 1 in Diamond Club this year in Australia. So these guys, they sort of know what they're doing. And within a few short years, what is it, 2 years or so, or 3 years that you hit diamond, right?
Yes.
Crazy. And I just take my hat off to you, and I thought everybody needs to hear their story.
Yeah, we've been chatting with them for a while. They have lots of great ideas to share. Everybody does doTERRA a little bit differently, and it's always good to get some ideas and to share with each other their success.
That's right.
So we hope to do that tonight.
Yeah, we don't want to be the one with all the knowledge or anything, because we don't. And we like people to be inspired by other people and maybe do it their way, because that might fit them better, right? So
it's a great idea. Yep.
And
there's no one way. That's right.
And these guys are calling us or talking to us from Queensland, Australia. And so it's early Saturday for them. And we have a few questions for you. So
welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
It looks like Kayla and Terry joined us, and welcome to everybody. We also have a podcast. It's an audio podcast that we have 78 subscribers, so they'll be listening to it as well. So welcome to everybody who's joining us on the podcast.
So we'll ask you questions that if you guys that are listening and participating, if you have questions, you're welcome to type them in or just raise your hands and we'll have a discussion, because Peter and Lynn are very really cool.
I'm gonna mute someone.
Here we are. So the first question here, guys, how did you get started in doTERRA? They want to know how did it all start?
Okay, an acquaintance called me and said, I've got some oils I want to show you. And she came over, I made her a cup of tea. She was there for 45 minutes. I signed up and I knew nothing about the oils. I thought they smelled nice. That was it. End of story. I used to have oil burners all over the house, and I started putting oils in the oil burners and thought, this is too expensive to do this with. And I gave the box to my daughter. So that's oh my goodness. That's Peter's phone, a deaf man can hear. So my start with doTERRA regrettably wasn't the best, and that's why when we're introducing new people, we make sure that they have everything they need to get started, because we certainly weren't started that way. And I gave the box to my daughter and my youngest daughter, and she did the research and started using them on her baby. So that was kind of our start. You know, it's no good looking back and saying, I wish I had have known. I do.
No, but
wish I had
good, Lynn. You were saying that's a good thing, because then you really know what people really need at the beginning.
Absolutely. It was probably a good thing. You're right.
Yeah.
So no one can say that they're not well equipped when they start with us. We make sure they've got everything they need, and a great support team, really. So there you go. But after that, it was years really before we got started. You know, we really didn't jump in. So anybody that you've got that's signed up that's not doing anything, don't discard them or think they're never going to be activated, because it was probably for probably 3 years after I joined that I actually started to do something with it. So there's always hope.
Yeah, wonderful. So what made you want to do something?
Okay, so Donna doing the research, I guess, and coming to me and saying, I need some more oils. How do I get the oils? And I said, oh, gosh, I better try and find how do I do that. And so I did get onto the company, and I had to rejoin, pay my $25, and of course get my free pepper, which was great. And she said, "Oh, you've got a website. The customer service girl was wonderful. You've got a website and a back office," which I knew nothing about. And so when I looked, the Australian convention, the first Australian convention, was happening 2 days later. And so I jumped on and bought my ticket, much to me, disinterest, I suppose. He was like, "What are you doing that for?" And so I went along and I was, wow, there's something different here. But I still didn't do anything. It wasn't until we started to have some really great experiences with the oils, and just by accident, we run a dance studio, and by accident, someone would say, I'd say, "How are you?" And they'd say, "I've got a headache." And I'd say, "Oh, I've got oils. This might help." And they'd come back and say, "How do I get that?" It was really a very organic sort of growing to start with, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So do you want to say anything about that?
No, I think you've said enough.
Next question, I do.
Yeah. But that's so good, because sometimes people feel like I'm messing up. I just don't know what I'm doing, and they think they're never going to be successful because they don't know what they're doing. So
that's right.
Exactly. However, that's great.
Yeah, you can always make a fresh start too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Another thing that you said that I really like is you reached out to the member services. I think they're fantastic. And they are
very helpful.
If they don't know, they usually ask someone else. Every once in a while, you might get a new person on the phone, but you just call, ask them questions. If you don't know how to do something, well, reach out to your upline. Member services are really great.
Yeah, so what I learned tonight is you saying get them to have a really good oil experience. If they're just using it, they don't know what they're doing, you can't fault them by, "Hey, why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you building?" Right? Just really get them to have an oil experience first until they say, "Well, it works." And you naturally will say, "I have an oil for that."
Yeah, but you do. And then my family started saying, "Oh, whatever we say to Mum," she says, "Oh, there's an oil for that." And it was, so whatever they'd say, I would return that, that comment. And so in the beginning, I think people think you're a little bit crazy. Don't they? They think, I'm thinking about that. But once they've experienced it, so if people will try the oils, obviously they work. And that's kind of what happened with Peter. So do you want to tell that part of your story?
Well, yes, I had the experience of my knees and the digestion. And to cut a long story short, once someone has an experience, that's what you want them to have. But what I'd like to say about getting started and so on is that there is using the oils is number one. Everyone should use the oils, have the experience. Then they'll share. So you have using and you have sharing. But then you have another step, or I believe, and that is building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you've got using, sharing, and then build. And there are three separate things that you do, I think, in this business. Mm-hmm. And what we like to try and do once someone has used it and maybe shared it with one or two is then say, okay, how about now we launch your business? Mm-hmm. You've joined, but let's forget about joining now. Let's launch it as a business. And that's when we talk about the classes and or them holding one-on-ones or using the flip chart to explain the oils, and then also the business. Anyway, that's probably the main thing I want to mention.
Great.
I thought he might mention that he was a skeptical husband, because I'm sure there's a few of them out there. And we always I think you say if your husband, if he's skeptical, then he's on track. Because a lot of them are, And
skeptical can be a good thing.
He's normal. He's normal.
It's normal. Ben has an explanation
it's
for that.
normal, yeah. I mean, being skeptical is a good thing. I'm actually a lawyer before I quit law and joined Jade, and that's actually a good trait to prevent problems. Is skeptical. You say, well, what about this? What about this? What about that? And that's good. But I like what Peter said about the oil experience. That solves that skepticism. You say, well, this is a valuable thing. And what Lynn said about, convention, that solved it for me. Going and seeing doctors and professionals, hearing Dr. Hill and hearing the owners talk. that all of a sudden made it a real thing for me.
Okay, that's on the oil side, and that's excellent. But I can tell you what really convinced me was that I think once you hit the $1,500
In Power 3.
in Power 3, and you've never missed it, that's got to change any guy's mind, I think.
Show him the money.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I agree.
In Australia, that's worth over $2,000.
Yes.
Because of the conversion.
Yeah, 1,500 US is 2,000 Australian.
Yeah. I think, it fluctuates, but yes, it's a lot of money, really.
I think for a lot of husbands, that's when they start seeing like, oh, well, this is a serious thing. It's actually adding
More
to
than a
the
hobby.
family's income. It's not a drain anymore. It's adding to the family financially. And I agree.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very good.
Thank you, guys. So next question is, how do you do your doTERRA business? Because I know everyone's different. You want to share something you do?
Yes. Okay. So initially I didn't want to do classes because I'd done party plan things in the past, and I said to Peter, I don't want to do classes. So I just started doing one-on-ones in coffee shops or at a dance studio. If somebody was interested, I said, sit down, I'll tell you about it. So a lot were impromptu. But when we decided to do Diamond Club, we realised if we really were going to make the most of that period of time, we needed to do classes, and it was the best thing that I did. That was really a turning point because the momentum is amazing.
So,
and of course, making best use of your time, because you're talking to, you still say the same things, but you say it to 3 or 4 or 6 people instead of 1.
Okay, so you had a dance club before. So explain that a bit. What was was it your business, a dance?
Oh, dance studio.
We've had a dance studio for 29 years. We started with our eldest daughter, and it's the longest running family owned, probably the largest on the Gold Coast. And so we have a lot of people that come along each week, casual classes, they pay as they come. We're known as the family studio, and so that was sort of a starting place, I guess, sharing it just
to start.
Very organically, with the idea of helping someone get rid of their headache or their cold or whatever.
Your own network.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nice. So, you're a Diamond Club. So how did you do that successfully?
Okay, so just by booking classes, really, I guess would be, we just...
There was, we enrolled 321 during that time.
Yeah.
That's
you guys who want to do Diamond Club, listen to that.
You really get focused. But what was also interesting is that in the first month we had 0 classes booked. 1 classes booked. We also had convention, right? Was here on the coast. So that was a week, 10 days out.
Mm-hmm.
Yet in the first, and we set it. But what you do is you've got to set a goal, and we set a goal to have 50. Was it 50? 50 for the first month, and we got 49. So tell us,
49 enrollments in the first month, even though you didn't have any classes booked.
We didn't have any classes booked. We'd been away for the month of January. We've been in Thailand with one of our sons, and we'd also qualified for the New Zealand incentive trip. And so we were in Queenstown, and then the last few days of the month of January is when the dance school goes back. So I was like totally crazily busy with that. And so the beginning of February we didn't have any classes.
So if there's anything to take away from this particular point here is classes is the best way to go. It takes you, let's say, an hour and a half to explain the oils. It takes you that long whether it's 1 person or 6. It may be a little longer if you're going to start signing up 3 or 4 or 5 at the rate once.
Mm-hmm.
You increase your chances 3, 4, 5, 6-fold.
Absolutely.
So just makes sense.
And, Diamond Club's awesome if anybody's thinking of doing it. It really is because people love to help. And so when people who were doing Diamond Club, of course we put it on our Facebook, our secret group, people were volunteering to have classes. And really, when you look at it, they don't get a lot of extra things. I mean, the company give an extra oil you know, and we started giving a few extra things as well. But it's not that. It's that they want to be part of that and part of helping you. And the excitement of that is then you have the class and then you book classes from that class. And that's how we ended up having 49 enrolments, even though we started with nothing.
It's never the words that people hear, it's the music.
Yeah.
So if you're excited and you're motivated and you just can't wait to come and share the oils, people say, well, you've got to have a look at what this is all about.
The question, how do you ask people to host for you?
How to have a class?
How to host a class,
Okay, all right. Well, so usually the person that I'm asking's already got the oils and is loving them. And so I will say to them, oh, you're just really loving the oils. You know, we've talked about what experience. Why don't we get a few of your friends together so you can share that? You shouldn't be keeping it a secret, you know. I say to people, you know, you joined doTERRA, you're not a secret agent. Like, seriously, you can tell other people about it. And so why don't we get, you know,
closet oiler. A closet oiler.
Yeah, that's why they just really love that. That's exactly right. And I say, look, I don't want lots of people. I want, like, how many fit around your kitchen table or your dining room table? And they might say 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. And I say, what I want you to do when you ask the people to come is to say to them, look, I've only got 5 seats. Lynn's coming. I want those seats filled. Now, if it's not something that you're interested in, just tell me now. If you're not interested in essential oils and natural solutions, I'll ask someone else. Like, just tell me now. And so usually we get the number that we anticipate of people who are really interested, not just coming to do their friend a favour. That makes a difference, I think. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. You weeded them out right away.
Yeah. Well,
you don't weed them all out, but you get a lot of them.
In the main, you know.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the other situation where we had, and that was just really incredible. I was just looking for the hidden camera. This girl said, my mum's not interested at all. And she said she wouldn't even come. And she said, but she's just called me and she's on her way. Well, the mum arrived and she was like, you know, not interested. And I just was about to start. She said, oh, you don't have anything for this, do you? And she held up a very arthritic finger. And I thought, she said, you don't have anything for this, do you? And I said, well, I usually show that as one of my last oils, but how about we put some on now? So I took the deep blue and it was very painful and I applied that and she's, you know, pretty grumpy about the whole thing. And then I guess I got to the 2nd or 3rd oil in my presentation and she goes, oh my goodness, I can straighten my finger. The pain is, I don't have any pain. And she's doing this. And it was just like, it was almost set up, you know, but it was real. And at the end, when I asked people, you know, would they like to get their own account, she said, I'll have one of those. And she picks up the pen and she starts to fill out the form and she goes, I haven't been able to write for months and I can write now. So that was someone who wasn't interested. So I'm glad she did actually come. So sometimes, you know, you win them over. Yeah.
Fantastic. Wow. So you book classes from classes and you tell them how many people around the dinner table, don't go too big and overwhelm them, right? How many people you sit around your table. Excellent. Yeah. Taught them how
no food.
No food. Don't make it fancy. Just
it needs to be duplicatable.
Coffee and if they still want to have the food, but you say put a cover over it. We don't want to see it until after we're done.
Or if they're going to have a lunch, have the lunch, and then I'll come later. You know, like we do a hostess coaching letter, how to have a winning class. And the last thing you want is people handing around the dip as you're handing around the oil, you know, or jumping up to check on something that's in the oven. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Because you have this.
Especially at the end. At the end, you now come to your end of the presentation. You're now asking the question of, you know, which out of these we only show two. Well, we've only shown 2. We now show 3 quick. We only show 3 kits. And so we asked them out of these 3 kits, which would suit your family's needs best, and that's our closing question. And we give it.
I'll just be a minute. All right.
And we also give out. We've already given out the application form. That's the only time we give out any. We don't give out any paperwork during the class, because if they have the paperwork there during the class, they'll be reading and looking at, and not listening to what's
Yep.
presented. Okay, so we never give that out until the end, and the only thing we give out is the application form at the end and a biro.
Did you teach a biro, a pen? So
Oh, yeah.
do you teach? That's Aussie. I'm just saying interpret. Okay. So you teach with Lynn too, Peter?
I have been on. I go to most of them, and I have done a couple, but no, Lynn is the expert. She knows the rules, and I concentrate money on the business side of it and the plan and the money side. So yeah.
Having said that, Peter's more than capable during Diamond Club. We were able to, split our time a little bit with that. So.
Divide and conquer a bit. Yeah,
That's very
fantastic.
good.
Of course, but we need somebody to do a lot of the other work too. Oh, excellent. So, and you use your strengths. He's good at organising, and then you're good at teaching. So fantastic. So the other things you did.
I was wondering if you could tell us about expos. Now, Lynn and Peter have an expo every month. Their expos are a little bit different than some of the expos that we've held in our team. And I was wondering if Peter and Lynn, if you could tell us about your expos.
Yeah. Okay. So our expos, we rent a room that doesn't cost a lot of money, and I think that was one of the major things that was we were talking about before. If you can get a community centre, or we use a function room at a local hotel, so it's kind of removed from the hotel, so down the back and underneath, and we hire that for $50 for 2 hours, but they don't care. Yeah, 3.5 to 4 hours. Yeah, and so what we do is we set up. We have probably 7 or 8 tables, and each of the product ranges are displayed separately. And we have someone manning that table who loves that particular product. If it's skincare, somebody's passionate about it, that's the person. And we have wipes, and we have all sorts of things so that they can actually try the product. And then we have someone manning the trim shake, and we make the trim shake and give out samples of that. So all of the product is there. They can touch and taste and feel and smell and experience it. And the reason we do that is that, and we hold it, I should say, at the beginning of the month. So within the first week, we hold them usually on a Monday night, although we have been having some on a Sunday. And it's when they walk in, we give them a free draw ticket. We get them to sign in, of course, on a sign-in sheet, and we give them a wish list and a pencil. And we say, just start to write down anything that you see you think you might want to add to your order. And during the course of the formal part, when we're speaking from the front of the room, we say, is there anybody that's not on LRP? And there'll be people who put up their hand. Let's give you a quick overview of what that is. And anybody who goes on LRP tonight, we've got a free oil. Okay, but they have already walked around the tables and written things that they've seen they want. So they're already thinking, yes, I'd like to place another order. It's actually really successful and really powerful.
So you have the tables first and the formal part.
Yep. Yes, we used to do it the other way around, and we went.
We've done it the other way around.
Not right. So by having it, most of the time would be in looking at the tables. There's a little bit of formal time, as in they're sitting on seats and listening to a speaker. Depending on the theme of it, how long that goes for. It's fairly short. We recognise people who've rank advanced. By then, we know what's happened previous month, and then at the end of it, they can go back around the tables again. And if there's any new people, we'll do a quick, presentation over in the corner and get them signed up as well. But we do a lot of giveaways. We have lucky door prizes and lucky spots, and who's got an oil that starts with tea in their bag, and they run out with it. So there's lots of interaction. I think. Yeah. Would you say that covers it?
So they look forward to having some fun and just community time.
Absolutely, that's what it's about. Definitely community, support, family, all of those things. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, I like that.
So
and they have them on a consistent basis. You said every month. So consistency we found is very important. Very important.
Yes. And we always announce the date for the next one.
Yeah, and then at the end you announce the date for the next one. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So you have a lot of new people as well as seasoned people coming to that, and you cater to both. I really like that.
You changed. You said the dude terror.
We do different themes. Yeah, doTERRA was definitely a winner. So we had that, we've done that twice, usually around Father's Day. And we encourage the husbands to come along. And that's, you know, some of these skeptical men that walk in, you know, and they usually leave with a big smile on their face because we do a men's panel. So we'll put up the men in the team that are using the product, and then we, you know, we have a lot of fun with it.
And you do like a little interview with the men and have them share experiences. That's a wonderful expo idea. That's so fun. Okay.
Another expo question I have is the community. So are you inviting people from the community that don't know anything about doTERRA or essential oils?
They're more than welcome. I'm talking about more a community spirit. They're part of our community. They feel like they're part of it. Just leading into that, we have a secret group that, and you possibly have a secret Facebook group, which is very community, would you say, where, I mean, obviously there's a lot of local people, there's international people as well, but it's a safe place to ask questions and so on. And, of course, we advertise our expos on that. And so when they come along, they feel like they're putting faces to the names that they've seen on Facebook. And it's very connected. It's definitely a very connected place, would you say?
So it sounds like your expos are more geared to people who have joined doTERRA, and that's the training, the product training.
In the moment, but obviously, if anyone has a guest, wow, bring them along.
It's a nice place for them to bring a guest because the guest, you know, Peter was saying before, it's not just the words, it's the music, or it feels good. You know, people like to belong to something that they feel good about, and it's connected.
That's true. It's like a party. It's like a team event every month. I like that.
We have a lot of fun with it. We do. Yeah. And we're fortunate in that we've got our two daughters and our two sons-in-laws, and we have other, like our sons and their wives. Like we have a lot of our family there, but our girls are very, what would you say, extroverted. Yeah, so I mean, they'll dance on the tables if they need to. They certainly get a lot of fun happening.
Yeah, your girls are beautiful.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. Great idea. So you said you have a wish list. Is it just a blank paper that says wish list?
Yeah, we do them, what would that be, A6, but like about that. So skinny ones, yeah. So it's like shopping.
Is it a price list or?
Not a price, it's just a blank sheet. So
no, it says wish list at the top. Okay. And so, you know, depending on whether I've got the magazines as a deal or not, I'll give them I don't always give free magazines, but usually we've got clipboards if they want it, or they get a pen or a pencil and they just start to jot down the things that they see as they go around. So yeah, the wish list just says wish list at the top. So
wow, you guys are awesome. That sounds fun. So the next question we have, anything else that you do in your business that you want to share?
What else do we do that we might share?
You already talked about the flip chart, which is probably the main.
Wait, that's the next question. So, what is successful in your business? What's the flip chart?
Okay, well, yeah, being duplicatable, I guess, and so I have to be very aware of that because I love to give things to new people. So I have to remember that it has to be something that other people can do as well. We do give a support pack. We have a little folder. Sticker on the front.
Is a gift pack that you give to new members, every new member. Okay, so
as soon as they join, they take that home with them. And I mean, I'll go through what's in that maybe with you separately, or
no, just right here would do, and then we'll maybe ask you for the link or the
whatever. We'll send it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so the first thing that's in it is an overview. So it's an overview of the 10 oils in the order that I've done them. So I say to people at a class, I don't hand out price lists or clipboards or pens or anything. I want them to be focused on what I'm talking about, okay? And so I say, don't worry about remembering everything because I'm going to give you a support pack and that'll have everything I've spoken about in point form. And so that is key, all right? And then the next thing that they absolutely love.
I have a question. You mentioned 10 oils. Do you cover those 10 oils in each?
I cover 10 oils. Yeah.
That's the family physician kit oils?
Yes, but I use the home essentials.
Yeah, it's the home essential, honey.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. When I first started doing Diamond Club, I was showing the 5 mil, which was, what was it called here? It was called Essentials Kit, I think, at the time.
Collection.
I was showing the 5 mil, and then I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, get the full size. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the other thing that we do is we include, and I don't know if you've got it in your kit, we include fractionated coconut oil. If it's not in the kit, we include that. So when we tell them the price will be different for you guys, but the Home Essentials Kit delivered to their door. So I add delivery and I add the fractionated coconut oil is $360.
Okay, so
we
you've got all so that they know.
Yeah.
They know exactly how much they're spending.
Yeah, Peter says remove the confusion, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to make things easy and simple for people.
Yeah.
So in their support pack, which I do go through at the end, before I tell them how much the price of the kits are, we give them this is wonderful, 100 and, sorry, get up there. This way, where am I going? I can't get it the right way. 150 uses.
Okay, so that's a little booklet. It's like an ebook.
We put it together. Yeah. So it's 150 uses of the, so it's about 15 uses for each oil. Okay, so once again, for people who don't want to go printing lots of stuff because this is not duplicatable, we give it to them digitally. Yeah. So a new person can go out and not have to spend the money on printing.
Right? Can I just say, the 2 kits that we basically show and are trying to get people to take home is, what's the first one?
Well, the Home Essentials. And our Natured Solution is different to yours, but the Natured Solution. Yeah.
And that's but the one with the box.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what people really get excited about. Because if we show that and then say, well, if you'd like to come, if you'd like to get the next kit down, well, you don't get the box and you don't get this. People don't like missing out.
Yeah.
So you tell them all the things they're not going to get.
Yeah. So no, people really do. We've been selling a lot of the was it 400?
Well, it's 400 points. So I think it's the same for you. The price is different at the points. So that's really, they love that. They can't wait to get that because it's going to help them use the oils. The other thing in there, a little bit.
Then I have a question.
Sure.
That little ebook that you give people is a really great guide, essential oil guide to get them going. A lot of other teams I've seen, they really promote like a book, a guide, like the Modern Essentials or Oil Life. Yeah. You also show people that book, or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We do. But we also say to them the app is a great start because they can get that straight away. I do carry books. It's lesser of my focus, I guess, but I do have books on sale if they want them. The other thing is...
So usually when people will buy the book, is if they've heard of essential oils and they really want to know about it, or when we have the expos, that's when they say, oh, I didn't know you even had the books. We have them all the time, but now they've seen them and they know about the oils. Now they want the book.
I'll get them there. Yeah. Just in the other things that we give, my youngest daughter, the one that did all the research, she has a really great page called the Holistic Solution. So as in holistic, but holistic. She's the roller bottle queen because she's got the little children. She makes up lots and lots of roller blends. And so she put a little book together, but to make it inexpensive, we've got a printout of, I think it's about the top 10. 10. So we've got the Kick the Sick blend, you know that one, the Kick the Sick. We've got Hay Fever No More, Migraine Buster, Morphine Bomb or Morphine Mix. So we've got a selection of blends, and because we want people to really start to use their oils, we give them a little pack of 3 roller bottles as well.
Ooh, nice. So can we get a copy of those things, Lynn?
Yeah, certainly. We'll send you the...
I will send you everything that we do. That's all fine. We make sure they've got the company support number, so the...
They look really big.
That's really big, yeah.
Yeah.
That helps them start to take responsibility for their own question or business, and it alleviates a lot of the calls on your own phone, You
can't help everybody with little questions like that, can you? I mean, but we also have the Facebook page when they ask questions.
Yeah, but the other thing is too, there are some questions that you can't answer anyway.
Yeah.
They have to ring customer support.
Yeah, you can't tap into their account. So.
Right, And as soon as they start to use that, or at least find out that there is a lovely person at the other end of the phone, it's not someone who's talking Chinese or Filipino, because that's...
Oh, we love.
Because you know, being in Australia,
we've got a Philippine Chinese daughter-in-law for anyone we love.
Yeah, you've lived in Australia, and you know, if you go on the phone here to Telstra or some of these phones,
they have an Indian guy or
they're
something.
ringing you from another country, and they don't even speak English, you know. So you can't understand them.
Well,
so,
sometimes the Australian American thing.
No, it's not.
American English. Speak Australian.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Anyway.
So,
all right. So where are we up to?
Anything else you have in you include?
We have a testimonial letter from one of the childcare centres on the Gold Coast. We have several childcare centres that use the oils, and they diffuse On Guard in the kindy rooms. And this particular letter says their absenteeism has gone down dramatically from using our On Guard range of products. So it's very good. If they're privately owned kindies or childcare centres, they're easier because they don't have to go through the red tape. We've got quite a few of those. Then the director or the owner signs up, and often the classes, at least the parents, the families will start to want to have the oils at home as well. So it's really good. It's been very good. Which is good. Oh, and then we do focus on wild orange. We give them a whole sheet on on wild orange, because we give that when they get their own account. We give them a wild orange.
Yeah.
We don't give that for attendance at the class, so we don't give the invitations that say that that's going to happen. So no.
Gee, so that night they go home with a support pack and a little bottle of wild orange.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'll show you what else we do.
Okay.
Okay, so the other thing that we do, and I started doing this during Diamond Club, and it was so successful that I've continued. So what we do, we give them a lava bead bracelet. So the bracelet has lava beads, which are the porous beads, different coloured lava beads, and that's where they're taking home the bracelet that they've chosen, and we make sure we've got a variety of colours and I'll get it right, and designs.
And for everybody watching or listening that doesn't, the lava beads, put essential oils on there, it becomes a diffuser.
A diffuser, exactly.
Absolutely. And what a great talking point, They leave the class with one that they've fallen in love with, because there's lots of different colours. We've already put their wild orange on it, and they've started their oil experience. Now, I'm fortunate in that I have a beautiful daughter-in-law that makes these for us, but once again, to be duplicatable, you can get them from
AliExpress. AliExpress. You use
AliExpress. Yeah, I know.
Couple of dollars.
Yeah, but some people love making them. So if they love making them, make their own. And there's all sorts of jewelry, I guess. But these, I just think they're fairly inexpensive for us to have made, and they love them, and they just look at it, And really, as Peter says at the end of the class, we're saying now we've presented both the kids, or three of the kids, which kit is going to best suit your family needs. Oh, and by the way, I've already put the bracelets out. If you see one that you really like, because they're all different, make sure you grab it now. And so they'll reach over. Oh, there. They'll reach over and, I'd pick that one because it matches what I'm wearing. Okay, so, and they'll put it, now I know they're going to sign up. I know they're going to get a kit because they want the bracelet. They've already made the decision, haven't they? So it just makes, there's no awkward pause at the end. If ever you've had that when you've shown the kits and nobody picks up the pen and, that's awful when that doesn't happen because they're all, doing something else.
They're grabbing it first.
And they've been thinking about it the whole time.
Yeah.
We've learned that as well. Yeah. Present the kits early on so people can think about it during the class, and they also sort out in their mind how they're going to pay for it and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Offering the keychain, so that's what we did during Diamond Club for us, and then they come and buy doTERRA.
Then they have to fill it up.
And then they want to, fill it up that night when the oils come. So they say, call me when your oils come, and we'll help you fill it out, put the stickers on. And so they're excited about it. It's so cute. So
I love that. Yeah. I did that, and I have to be honest, I don't do it in every class because sometimes it's too big. But if I can, I introduce the LRP, and anybody who goes on the LRP tonight takes home a keychain. So I use the keychains in that way.
When you don't have enough for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, I'll make sure. I always stock up on those. We can't.
You guys brought a lot of suitcase home.
Pardon?
You brought a lot of suitcases full of stuff back to Australia, did you? Yeah.
Yes.
I had to buy a new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You know, so many things are so inexpensive in the US that, of course, you would know. You guys that
Being
not so much so, yeah. And of course, you know, you get point per dollar. I mean, there's a lot of things you've got going for you. So
we're very blessed for those of you in the US.
Yes, very blessed. Because Australians pay, a lot more for 1 point worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So you guys have flip charts when you teach in your classes.
I had a few other questions on the support pack. We were talking about before. So we've done a few things just like that. I know your team is going to be listening to this as well. We have samples sometimes. You can get the Deep Blue or the On Guard or the shampoo samples. For a while there, they didn't have the shampoo, but thank goodness they brought them back. Also, she's going to go get that kit. Other things we've done, we were talking just before we started the call. Sometimes you can get the living guide magazines free. Here's the suitcase. So the old magazines, if you have any old magazines, that's really good as a support because it has it's basically a guide in there, which they're going to get with their introductory kit anyways, but also some like blog items, DIY stuff.
Yeah.
Another thing we've done, you know how you added fractionated coconut oil with their Home Essentials kit? I really like that. So that gives them something to use it topically. And you've got the roller bottles topically. They're going to get a diffuser. We also included maybe a little bag, a Ziploc baggie of maybe 10 or 20 veggie capsules. Veggie capsules. So that helps them learn how to use it internally as well. So all 3 uses. And it's very, very cheap. You get a jar of or a bottle of 100 or so, and just give them 10 to start off with, so at least they have an experience.
That's excellent.
So those are a few ideas that we have that have worked.
So that's what we're talking about, duplicatable. If you don't have this, you have that. Mix and match these ideas that Lynn and Peter's sharing too.
And for those of you who are listening, it's not just a gift that you give them as an incentive to sign up, but everything that Lynn showed and the things that we were talking about has a purpose. It's there to help them kind of get started, get used to the essential oils and everything. That's the important thing.
You want them using them,
Well, the key is, we're not a sales company, we're a reorder company.
That's the big picture. That's the vision. It's not about the first
so the
sell.
initial order is not it, right? Exactly.
It's the LRP. It's getting them.
And if you want residual income,
using it for their family. Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, we love to remind people because they're so used to selling a Tupperware, selling a lipstick. Not that we just get them in, but you still, you still got it. Okay, so you've got your flip chart, and I love how you start with a membership first.
Yeah.
You want to share
so these flip charts are quite expensive to buy here, but you guys can get them. We talked about that. I'll just forget it. So when I have, I've got my place at the end of the table. We talked about the coffee table. Yep, we got it now.
I'll hold it for you.
I have husbands can help.
Now you know what I really do.
I open at that page, and then I just have my oils to the side. I don't do a big display. Remember, we want to keep it duplicatable, and I'm at the end of their kitchen table or their dining room table. So when I start, I obviously thank the hostess and thank the people for coming, and I'd say, now I just want you to relax because, to get in the oils, you really don't have to be concerned about spending a lot of money. You can spend as little as $35 and buy the oils that you want at 25% discount. However, as I go through, I'll show you how you can buy a whole collection and you don't even have to pay that, and you will get a free diffuser. So I can't wait till we get to the end and I'll tell you about that.
Now,
and then,
do you have that written on the back of the flip chart there?
It's on the back of the back. So, it's for the, so everything on the is on the prompt is on the back. Is
so you can read it and learn it.
That's really good. We've got something similar I was showing there earlier for our team that we put together. You just find what works for you, and this what Lynn's got here is very duplicatable. Like she was telling us earlier, she doesn't have to worry about presentations, looking up technology or anything like that.
That's
very
right.
easy. It can be on the kitchen table, the best place to teach the class. Don't you agree?
Yeah,
absolutely, I do. And we've got a little A5 version of this for a coffee shop.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. It's not really a big chart. We've got the page here and here. I'll show you that in a minute.
So for those in the US, A5 is just like a half sheet of paper.
I'll show you. I'll grab one out in a minute. My first page, and I say now you can all relax. I'm not going to show you the family photo album, but I would like to introduce my family. We've got 7 grown-up children. That's all the spouses and partners and 12 grandchildren. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason I show you that photo is because everybody in that page experiences the oils on a daily basis. So we've got so many experiences there. So if I get very excited about the oils, it's because I know they work. All right. So we suggest when we give the flip chart to other people that they put their family or their family dog or whatever it is that they're currently, like that's their life. So that goes there. And then, of course, as we go through all of the oils.
Yeah, that's exactly our first slide. I was just looking through ours as well. That's
this is my story.
Exactly what we put in ours.
Story.
Yep.
Yep, perfect. So when we get to the end, we say, now what appears to be the end of the presentation is really just the new beginning for you. So you can take a different path now with your life and choose natural solutions for you and your family. So now's the good part. The part I'm most excited about is telling you how you can get these oils. Okay, and then I go through, and I do cover the largest kit we've got in Australia. I used to never show it. It's just so much money, you know. I was like, oh, nobody will want it. And I had 2 people within the course of a very short time say to me, if I'd known about the big kit, I would have got it. So that was my experience. So I'd say, this next kit, I'm showing you just in case there's someone sitting there that might want it. And if you've got a large family or you're a therapist, you might want to look at this. It's great value. I don't spend a lot of time on that. Yep. Now, if I was joining now, this is probably the one I'd get. Okay, this is our Nature Solution Kit. It's got all the oils I've shown you today, plus some other beautiful blends. Of course, I would have told them about the tube of ice blue. I would have told them about our hand wash and so on. Your kit like this is different. I've just discovered through my son. But anyway, so this one delivered is $656. So it's heaps more than you guys pay. Now, this is the one that most people get, and this is our Home Essentials, exactly what I've shown you today. Delivered to your door, $360. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pass out, and I'll give them a sheet.
Now that one's you've included the fractionated coconut oil.
And delivery.
You can see the picture. See the pictures there of it? Yep.
And everything.
Yeah.
And so we passed out a sheet that's got those 3 kits on it and our enrolment form and our pencils. But I've already, remember, before I've shown them the kits, I've shown them the support pack and I've shown them bracelets. All right? So that's kind of it then. And there's always chatter. There's never any,
quiet,
awkward silence.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
They're just chatting and asking questions, and that's fantastic. Love it. So there's great ideas. We do it differently, but that's a way that some people might want to do it the same.
Well, I was thinking, there's all those things that we do the same, and we find out from class to class.
We just have a little handout without flip charts, but but the principles are all the same.
The principles are all the same. Exactly.
Yes. Stories, you talk about the oils, and you make sure that you point them to the kits that have those oils.
And you know what? Then I can feel your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Your passion for it. And I think that's really important. That clicks with people. People understand that. They feel that. And of course they're saying,
The most important thing of all is the
You probably
assumption.
have a high conversion rate. I can tell.
Very high. But you've got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are you there for?
Yeah, you got to close it, don't you? You got to close
You have to
it.
close it.
Beginning, absolutely. Yeah, you got to ask for the order.
Look, I really do want the person.
They're going to do it.
You know, I really want those people to have the oils. I honestly don't. I'm not thinking about fast starter. I'm not thinking about anything else. And I really never was in this. I was always about, I really want you to have it. Let me show you how you can get it. You know, I get excited for it.
In fact, nearly every time when you do a class, you're going to sign the hostess up anyway. So she's going to get the big part of the fast start anyway.
Yeah.
And or it might have been somebody else down line.
Oh, we did.
We've done a lot of classes, and there is no fast start for us.
Yeah, that's it. Same here.
It's so far down. It doesn't matter. It'll come back. It'll come back somewhere.
It will come back. What
It's
goes
about
around
building
comes
that
around.
big customer base that's gonna, purchase on an ongoing basis.
So you guys have a mini for the coffee shop.
Yes, I'll go and get that. All right, give me a second.
All right.
Yeah. So Pete, what would you have done different if you? Well, what advice would you give to new people if they want to start? What advice do you have for them?
Oh, that they should learn the back of that flip chart.
Yeah, but just read it.
Then talk about building. Again, I'm more on the building side and getting a residual income because, we go out, we help people with their backache, their headache, their heartache, their whatever ache. But what about the greatest pain of all?
Yep, financial pain.
Thank you. That's it. Everybody has financial pain.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sure there are some who have to. Basically, everyone has financial pain, and that's the area that I really want to concentrate on and show them how they can get that residual income that'll come in next month on the 15th, next month on the 15th, month after on the 15th. Wow, what an exciting concept!
Yes.
What if it's really true?
It really works.
And then I point to my daughters. We mentioned maybe what we're doing, or how good it's been for us. We go back to 40 years ago when we first got into network marketing. That's the reason we got into network marketing. We wanted time freedom. We wanted financial independence.
Yeah.
We were able to take our, how many?
Well, 7.
7 kids all the way over there to the States. We bought a motorhome and toured for 6 months on residual income that we were earning from another company, but it's networking residual income. That's the dream.
Do you find
most
it
people.
much easier?
In this, this is a dream. This is unbelievable. Come on. Wow.
We've never seen anything as easy as this.
Yeah. If you know anybody else that is in another company and you can get to them and at least have a comparison, they will keep saying, oh, that can't be true. No, that can't be right. 70% retention, you've got to be.
That's huge.
Who has that? No, that can't be right.
Sometimes if people haven't experienced others, and some of our folk that are listening, if you haven't been involved in any other company, sometimes you don't really realise because you've got nothing to compare with. And so we'll often throw that in. We've been with companies that completely changed the marketing plan, took away our residual income. I'm with one company for 25 years. The one that in the beginning was giving us such incredible residual that we were able to spend 6 months in another country, not working, with our children touring. And that was amazing. But they started to tweak this marketing plan that took away our residual income.
They were tweaking it their way.
I've heard these stories. This is true. I've heard lots of stories like this where one change and they've lost their business.
It has a domino effect. And initially, a lot of people don't realise that what has happened, but because we've been around it for so long, we're like, well, if you change that, the knock-on effect is going to be that we don't have that residual income.
doTERRA just tweaked the plan a little, but it was our way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're now what's it? A Premier. Quite a
more money.
And you know that, I don't know whether you know this, but in Australia, they've just introduced the opportunity to become a founder. We've opened nine.
You guys are going for it. Go.
Yeah, well, we're going for it. But, you know, there's 9 new opportunities for someone to become
I found that.
founders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
How
states
incredible.
like it's you have to be presidential, so we've got to be.
Well, whatever the rules are, whatever the rules are, you've got to play by the rules. And there's, but they're good rules because you're going to make a lot of money and residual by getting to those levels anyway.
And the other thing is it's reliable. We found that, you know, from month to month, there aren't these huge fluctuations.
Predictable.
You can actually rely on it as compared to some companies where if someone didn't put in their order, you know, that cuts off everybody under it. But with doTERRA, you have that compression, which makes it
Compression, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
It really does make it secure, that's for sure. Yeah, amazing. Okay, this is our little, I have it in a pack so that it stays nice, and we've just done a little binder thing, and so I considered a coffee shop without, you know, and often there's only a little table, and we can go through pretty much the same as in our flip chart. So instead of having it like that, I'm just sitting with the person and showing them and reading it. So it's just nice and easy right through, and still pretty much the same as at the close, right?
The
So
same
nice.
class. Do you do just this intro class over and over?
Yeah, yep, absolutely. We've done a few where we've had a special event where we've done the skincare, for instance. We did run that. That was like a big workshop. We had about, I don't know, 35, 40 local people come to, you know, do the to experience all the skincare. But in the main, those 10 oils, like really, you know, that's just our basis.
That's the basics.
Yeah. I got to share an experience with flip charts. So we had this flip chart in Australia, because sometimes when people, they go to teach their, you know, an introductory class, they really don't know what to say, and they want us to write everything down. And I've actually been in a class where a lady's up there, she's teaching the class, and she's all reading entirely from the back of it, and then they had a discussion. Everybody was buying into it. They were really involved in everything, but really she was just brand new, and she was just literally reading
Just hide
what
her
we
face
wrote
behind it.
on the back of it, and then they'd have a discussion. And that was okay. Everybody wanted to help. And that's all she needed was that flip chart. You know, it gave her something to hold, something to show, and something to read. And then when she got into it, she had a personal experience for each slide.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
She
That's all you need.
Her bit every time.
Yep.
Well,
So,
what you've got to be careful of, isn't it? Is it like the more you do it, the more confident you are that you don't make it look like the person goes, there's no way I could do that. You know, you still have to. And that's, I think, you do have to be careful of it because you know.
There's probably something to leave out.
Well, you know, sometimes, and I just find out, because you've done it so many times, you can do it in your sleep. And so I'll get to a page and I'll say, oh, come on, you guys, you read what's on that page. You know, you read. Because most of what's on the back is on the front of our pictures as well. So come on, your turn. Tell me, what does it do while we pass it around? Because then you keep hearing your own voice sometimes, which is kind of like now because I've been doing a lot of talking, right? It's nice if they hear somebody else. I try to give it a bit of a break.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Do you guys have any questions for Lynn and Peter?
Any questions from our team? You've shared with us a lot of great information. And it's really good. Our team hears a lot from us, so it's good.
Yeah.
We have someone else that's joined us.
Well, I'm sure most of what we've done is just confirm what you've told them anyway.
Yeah. And I have to be honest, we haven't been doing webinars within our team, but it's been on the agenda. So we'll certainly invite you guys to be part of that as well. Because we can all, that's it. We all learn from each other, don't we, really?
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Great community.
Terry has a question.
No, I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you. You've shared so much with us. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you.
Marissa?
Yeah, thank you too. And again, I apologize for my voice. I wanted to know when you guys are doing Diamond Club Did you find that once you got going, you didn't need a lot of motivation to keep going, or did you have to kind of keep yourself motivated?
I guess I've just had this conversation with someone who's just really struggling a little bit, and I said to her, "Did you have breakfast this morning? Lunch? You gonna have dinner? No, you won't need to do that again tomorrow, will you?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, that's what you've got to do with personal development. That's what you've got to do. You've got to keep putting it in because it kind of isn't always there." And so we constantly feed our minds and our spirit with good things. So I guess with Diamond Club it's a little bit easier because you definitely get caught up in the motivation and the momentum, don't you? But you have lots of attitude checks. If that's the answer, I'm not sure if that was your question.
Attitude checks, I like that.
It does. I guess I should have made it more two-part. Did you find it difficult to help manage your own team at the same time? Like, were you mentoring people at the same time?
Yeah, we were pretty busy. Well, let's put it this way.
We went to bed tired, not bored. That's for sure.
Tired, not bored.
Yeah, but you just do it. I mean, it's again we hear a lot of people talk about Diamond Club and how hard it is. We never found it hard ever. We found it exciting and exhilarating. We found it very, very focused and consistent work, time. But I often just tell people, go and have a look at the Nepal video. If you think sitting in your car, air conditioned, sipping coffee, talking about oils is hard work, then you have a lot to learn. Go see those ladies with those 50-pound backs, your baskets on their back. That's hard work.
Yeah.
Now, this is not, if you tell yourself a lie long enough, you begin to believe it.
Yeah, tell yourself
a lie. And we see that happening all the time. We live in an incredible country. We both do. And we have this incredible freedom. And, boy, we haven't made.
Yeah.
So, look, it's only what is it, 4 months of consistent effort.
Yeah.
And, boy, you will reap the benefits again, over and over and over. For the hard work, it's really that consistent, focused work or effort that you do.
That's the definition of residual income. You continue to reap the benefit of all that effort that you've put in.
Yeah, but as for looking after your team at the same time, we would. We were up bush somewhere. I remember with the phone trying to get the signal to contact the company, to contact our daughters, but you just do what you got to do. Do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it all works out.
I love it. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I do love is that this company is not trying to take something from you, to hold something back.
No.
If you have a problem or you need it fixed, they will do their utmost. Well, this has been our experience. They will do their utmost to fix it for you or to help you where they can. So, you've got plenty of support out there and help. And you've got wonderful help in Jade and Ben. So,
well,
what more do you need?
Yeah, and this is just a little side story. It just came to my mind with what you said.
Yeah.
The very first Christmas time that I was playing with the oils, and I started to give them to family, and a couple of people wanted orders, and I wasn't signing anybody up. I had 1,000 points worth of orders, and I called the company because I don't even know if we could do it online, but I didn't know how to. So I called the company and I said, I've got a really big order. I hope you're ready. I've got a really big order. And she said, oh, okay, do you want to give it to me? And I said, yes. I said, I think it's about 1,000 points. And she said, well, why don't we break it up into 200-point lots? And this is a true story. She said, you give me the entire order and I'll make it up into that, and you'll have to pay extra postage, but you're going to get extra, like you're going to get all those free frankincense. And I went, really? Because in my head I thought, I wonder if I should break it into two, or is that kind of ripping the company off? Maybe I shouldn't do that. And that is truly what I thought. And here was the customer service person who had no reason to do that other than to give something. I was like really just speechless about it. I went, really, you do that? And she said, yes, and if you give me your number, I'll call you back when I've done it. And that is the truth. That is the most amazing early experience for me. And that was before I started recruiting anybody.
And that's right. See, so for 25 years, we were with one other company, which I don't think they even never gave us a bottle of Ella.
No.
Obviously.
And I know we're going on and on, but when we paid $495 to go to their convention, right? And what did you get for the $495?
One.
You know what you got?
One lunch.
You got lunch.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got dinner. That wasn't necessarily so, but you got the hotel that it was in. They gave you the hotel notebook and a pen.
Hotel.
And that is absolutely the truth. You know, the cheap notebooks from whatever hotel it's held in, like the Marriott, one at the Marriott on the top and a pen. The first one, you know, I told you I signed up to go 2 days later to go, and I walked in and I walked up like I didn't know anybody. They give me a backpack. They give me a lanyard. I opened the backpack. The first Australian one, Jade, I don't know if you would have been to the first Australian convention. Dr. Hill was doing the Aroma Touch as part of it, and you had your 8 oils in the backpack.
Yeah.
Look at your backpack, 8 oils, the beautiful notebook.
I was one of the backs on stage.
Pardon?
I was one of the backs on stage.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I was just, that was like.
And how much does convention cost, right? doTERRA's convention kit, convention, $125. If you guys haven't registered for global convention yet, get on there and do it now. I don't know if there's stuff left.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing. So we've had, you know, how do you know, Peter says, how do you know good if you haven't known bad? We certainly have lots of comparison points. So it doesn't hurt to share that, because if you haven't, then you don't know how good you got it.
Got it.
It's good to build up gratitude. There's a lot to be grateful for.
And, you know, speaking to Lynn and Pete, we were sitting there next to each other at a convention. They were such grateful people, and they're just so happy about everything. There was no complaints about anything. They were like, yeah, wow, that's good, isn't it? You know, and it's just lovely energy. And at the bottom of it all, they really want an oil in every home, and that's why they want to do what they do too. I mean, yes, you need some income, but you really want to be part of this to put an oil in every home.
That's exactly right.
Fantastic. Anybody else want to ask any questions?
I'd just like to thank you for the, I really appreciated the 150 uses for the 10 basic oils. I think that's so useful and so helpful to a new member when they receive these oils to know that this one oil can do so many things. And yeah, you can end up with 150 uses out of 10 basic oils. I very appreciative.
We're excited for it.
Thank you.
We'll get that link for those people on our team, and we'll include it with this video. So if that's all right with you.
More than okay. And what we do is we have it. We put it up on Dropbox, and then people can go and, because it's usually too large to email or to get it other ways.
So we'll put it on Jane's website, and people can download it from there then.
Okay, well, you can do it that way.
A lot of stuff.
I just want to say, I was so excited when I walked in to sit down and I saw it was Jade. And I said, oh, you won Diamond Club one year. I've seen your video. I want to talk to you, you know, and that was just excellent. So I just want to say you guys are really fortunate to have such beautiful leaders in Jade and Ben here, because they are amazing. So make sure that you that you really appreciate what you've got, because sometimes you don't, you know, when you're around the people, you don't really appreciate what they bring to the table. So as I said, I was so excited to sit next to them at the convention.
And this is too, it's like Lynn was saying earlier before we got on the call, you know what, we're running into people that have signed up for doTERRA long time ago. They have their oils. We run into people who never even opened their box before.
Oh, I know.
They just don't know how to use it. And then we get in there.
A heart attack,
we invite them to our class. We have people come into our weekly classes that are not even on our team, and we're just happy to have them there and to share in the enthusiasm and learn and grow and everything. And you know what? It just builds us all up.
Yeah.
It is amazing. You can't give yourself away.
That's right.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, we're really honored to have you.
Lovely to meet and talk with all of you. All right, we'll talk soon.
And we'll send that off to you, okay?
We will get you the video so you can share with your team and everybody. And as you all, the people on our team know, we'll post this video as well and put together a post so that we can share this around with everybody else.
Yeah.
Excellent. We look forward to lots of future times together too.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. Yes,
Okay.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Have a
Thank
good
you
day.
everybody for joining us.
Okay.
Okay, we